Hey, what's going on, guys and gals? We made it. It's the first episode of the Sprout and Dusty Show. I'm one half of your gracious co-host. I'm Sprout the Anti-Hero.
I'm Dusty Grant. How you guys doing this evening? We're excited to bring you the first episode.
Man, really exciting stuff. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Man, we're really excited to announce that we're starting our first episode with a sponsor. As hard as that is for a lot of podcasts to do, we're really thankful and gracious that we now have Big Fish Bail Bonds out of Wichita, Kansas as our sponsor. And man, thanks for joining on.
The Sprout and Dusty Show is proudly sponsored by Wichita's #1 bail bondsman, Big Fish Bail Bonds. Serving Wichita and Sedgwick County, call 316-262-4100, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and have your loved ones wake up at home. Because as some of us unfortunately know, jail sucks. Big Fish Bail Bonds.
Jail sucks.
Does jail suck? I've never been to jail.
Dusty, that motherfucking place sucks. You know, but let me tell you some of the silliest stuff about jail. I went to the Sedgwick County Jail in Wichita, Kansas a long time. I'm living in Colorado now where I'm not a criminal. So basically, it's not a fun place. It's a concrete floor. And, you know, unfortunately, the first thing you notice, you're going to see people you automatically know. And some are wearing badges and others are puking in the corner next to the shitter. And the toilets, they got a lot of power to them. They can flush a severed head if properly prepared. The food is terrible. There's cockroaches in it. The bologna was green. The hot dogs are green. And I think to save a little extra money for the jail, they took away salt and some other condiments from the jail. But it's still cat food and fucking and all this other weird shit they want to serve you. It's never fun. So jail sucks. Stay out of there. And if you happen to be a prick or some wrong place, wrong time, call up Big Fish.
Big Fish Bail Bonds. So Sprout, how you been getting through the pandemic here? How's everything been going for you with your music, with all your solo stuff, with other interesting news that you've shared lately about some resurgences? What's going on with you? How are you getting through the weirdness right now?
Well, right now I'm just trying to stay sane. You know, the toughest thing, I've been laid off for the last couple of months. And so it's just been really tough to get your mind right. I'm just so used to a routine, bro. You know, waking up every day, going to work, doing my job, being a part of something really cool and, you know, being motivated. But I've also been motivated by music during that time. And it was always a struggle to where, man, am I going to have time to work on music like I want to work on music because I work so much on my job? And so when I got laid off, I was done with all my ideas in about 3.5 weeks. I actually did an online performance. I only did one, and I did really well. And it was glad to see people were still into what I'm doing. So that's good.
Yeah, I think people definitely are. Are you planning to record anything anytime soon? Do you have with either? Yeah, well, I guess why don't you tell everybody what the elephant in the room about the King Shifter thing coming back? Why don't you elaborate on that for us a little bit?
Well, King Shifter, we're back together. You know, we're about to tear some new ear holes open. This has kind of been in the works for the last 15 months. I saw Kink for the first time last March in 4 or 5 years or something like that. And it was really good to see him, and stayed at his house, and Derek came over, and it was just like old times, man. They're just your boys, man. You spent that much time of your life, of your adult life, with some people on the road and trusting each other. You know, that love and compassion won't go away, you know? And so we were at our happiest in our lives, in our careers. Well, I can speak for myself anyway. I was the happiest in my life and career when I was in King Shifter.
And now, obviously, you guys go through all those types of experiences, and you have those experiences on the road, and bands break up. You know, I've been in bands before, and drama happens. Sometimes people get under your skin. Sometimes you take things too personally. Sometimes it's just time to move on. Do you feel relieved now that that's back in your life? Are you? I mean, I obviously you're excited about doing it because you're doing it, but are you? You guys are all cool now. Everything it's all water under the bridge, all that type of stuff. And you guys just want to go kick ass.
Honestly, we've all been cool for a really long time.
Okay.
Over the last few years, I've caught up with each of these guys individually. You know, we were never in one spot when I saw them. You know, when you get together, you know, you say and make your peace, and that's what it was about. It was about making whatever peace I had to make, and we had to make with each other. The thing is that we've never stopped loving each other as brothers, man. That's just it. You know, we just never stopped, and you know, they've been supportive on the things I'm doing, and I've been supportive on some of the things that they're doing. You know, they started a Bulldog Printing. They have a pressing company. They print shirts and things like that. So they're entrepreneurs as well. You know, like I don't know, man. I feel like this is just a long time coming, man.
It seems like that, you know. It seems like that for me too. You know,
it's still like a dream.
As a fan and friend, you know, all the stuff that we've done together with the solo stuff. It's like I remember when I met you. That's how we met. You know, we were both in metal bands. We weren't doing any of the stuff we're doing now.
And you had hair, bro.
Yeah, I had hair. That was the countdown, though. It was starting to go. I was having to move it around a little to make sure I didn't show any scalp. So I just cut that shit off. But
I mean, you guys at home should like see his wedding picture sometime. It'll come back around at his anniversary, but. This guy, he looked like the Red Rifle himself, Andy Dalton, with that hair, man. I swear, he had it going, man.
Ginger. I remember I went with my wife to Nicaragua, and
thank you, Kat.
Thanks, Jason. I went with my wife to Nicaragua, and I like grew my hair out all shaggy and stuff because I was like, I'm gonna grow a big beard because her cousin down there is a barber, and he was gonna give me a straight razor. You know, in like an old school barber shop down in Nicaragua. So I did that. And when he cut my hair, it was actually on that trip where I was like combing it. And I was like, it's over. It's over. My wife's like, it's over. And I took it off. And then that was the end of it.
But I've been bald before, you know. After I left King Shifter, I shaved my head like a day or two later. You know,
are you gonna grow the dreads long again now? Are you gonna rally and grow them out?
I basically started over. I wanted to do a little bit something different. I got a tapered fade today with these dreads. You know, but
I don't even know what that is because I don't have any opportunity to get cool haircuts anymore. Sometimes I see people.
You ain't got no damn hair, man. Like, come on, man.
I see people with cool hair, and I'm like, never again.
I don't know, man. Like the reason I have dreadlocks is because it's in tribute. It's in tribute to my heroes in rock and roll that are black.
Yeah.
I wear dreads for Bad Brains. I wear dreads for Fishbone. I wear dreads for, you know, Seven Dust. I wear dreads for Living Color. I've come from that cloth.
Yeah.
And so that's what I use to express myself as far as the hair and why I have dreadlocks. Man, it's not, I don't think it's anything necessarily having to do spiritually for me, but it's just a tribute to that.
Well, it's great that you have a choice. I mean, I think I slacked one time during the quarantine where I didn't shave my head for 2 weeks. And man, by the end of that second week, it was looking. I hadn't done that, and by the end of that second week, I was like, "Ooh, that is horrible."
Oh, brother, I couldn't get very many. I didn't get very many haircuts before this, simply because I worked all the time.
Yeah.
Like when you got a little time off, man, the last thing you want to do is get up and go get a haircut. Unless you really need to feel better that soon. I just was not interested in it. But I started to look really shaggy, and like the side of my head looked like buckshots. I had these BBs on the side of my head. It's like, man, I need my fade did something bad, yo. My fade needed did.
So
bad.
when were you actually allowed to go get a haircut in
Uh,
Colorado? Because everything's different. It seems like everything's different everywhere.
so
Everybody you talk to.
everything as far as barber shops and beauty shops had opened up last Friday.
Okay.
So I mean, I'm not afraid to go out somewhere and get a haircut. You know, I'm not sure how things really are. I still go out wearing a mask. I'm
Yeah.
not sitting in the chair with a mask on, but I'm also not worried about the brother that would be cutting my hair sneezing on me either.
Yeah.
Most
Yeah.
barbers and people, you know, they're pretty sanitary, man. I've worked with some good ones before.
Are bars and restaurants and everything pretty much open there now?
No, the bars are still closed, except for the ones that serve food. They have carryout services
Okay.
or curbside delivery.
Yeah, that's same here.
Yeah, I know that Texas Roadhouse has made a killing since all this. People aren't going to live without their steak. Let me
Texas
tell
Roadhouse
you,
always has a line, whether it's pick up or dine in or 5 o'clock in the afternoon or 8 o'clock at night or
I mean,
it's always packed at that place.
restaurants have made a killing around here because there's all these rich people with shitty cooking skills that still need to eat, man. They know better.
Yeah.
They know better than to make their own steak. They don't know what they're doing. Not because they're rich, but they don't have to cook.
My wife,
go out to eat every night. There's delivery every night for these people.
My wife's spoiled. Like when we go out, we don't have steaks. I always get stuck grilling because, you know, I pride myself on my skills at the grill.
Oh, yeah,
so if anybody wants the smoke, come on. But yeah, my wife doesn't want to go out and eat steaks because usually what we have at home is better. So when we go out, usually it's seafood or something, you know, something that we don't make at home.
I'll take you home and make you a burger better than McDonald's, baby.
That's right. That's right. It's cheaper. It's cheaper. I'm cheap. It works.
Oh, yeah. Hey, how you doing, Desiree? You know, really, chicken and waffles has been my favorite breakfast. And she just mentioned something. I remember the last time I made chicken and waffles for people.
I've never had that.
Never?
That upsets me.
Man.
You've never made that for me.
Chicken and waffles is a southern dish that made its way north to New York City, and it was extremely popular during the 1920s and 30s during the old jazz club days where people would leave the club wasted as hell, don't know if they want breakfast, don't know what they have for dinner, but they just combined it and there's chicken and waffles. So that's the history of chicken and waffles in a nutshell. Like my grandfather told me stories about, you know, being on the farm, and he said, man, we'd have fried chicken for breakfast, biscuits, rice with sugar. I'm like, wait, you guys had fried chicken for breakfast? I mean, holy shit.
Yeah, that sounds fucking amazing to me.
Man, people get reamed in our day for having fried chicken for breakfast or serving their kids fried chicken for breakfast. I think that shit's dope. I mean, I'll give me fried chicken for breakfast. I've eaten it cold for breakfast several times hungover. Why not?
Well, you've seen me try to eat breakfast, and I'm normally not a breakfast guy, but you always have big breakfast and stuff, and so I'm like, I don't want to look like a bitch. I gotta eat a big breakfast. I'm like,
oh man, it's the most important meal of the day. Like I know if I don't eat at a certain point after I wake up, then it's just gonna be hell for me. I start getting a headache, just like a lot of people, because your body's telling you, hey, you need some food, you need some energy. So yeah, I'm a pretty active guy, so that's why I eat breakfast. I know as much activity as I experience during the course of a day, I need that energy.
Yeah, I've been trying to diet a little bit, like just about this week. You know, I've been trying to run and I've been trying to do stuff, and I've been trying to like create little workouts for myself and do shit in the garage and listen to metal and try to shadow box and do push-ups and burpees.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is I just hate that shit. So like I went for a run the other day, and the only thing I could think of the whole time I was doing it is how bad I want it to be over. And I'm just like, dude, I hate this. And
Cardio is my favorite. I love cardio, man.
the thing is, I can get cardio through the other things I do through jujitsu and kickboxing and stuff. I can get cardio through that. And when I'm doing that, I don't even feel like I'm doing cardio because I like doing that stuff. I love that training, and you're getting great exercise, but you're not thinking about, oh, my cardio. I mean, unless you're getting bombed,
Right.
but it's fun. It's fun, you know. And the thing about trying to work out from home is it's not fun. So I've been dieting, and I'm suffering right now, big time.
It's like a musician having to go to his jam room, you know. Being at home and working on stuff, it's cool unless you got a designated space for it where you feel inspired or whatnot. But it's always tough trying to get something done at home like that. It's physical, where you know you usually got guys you roll on the mat with and stretch with, and you know learn logistics with. I'm pretty sure that's tough, missing the fellowship, but being a mixed martial artist or a Brazilian jiu-jitsu, you know, practitioner, I'm pretty sure that fellowship is important.
So. It is. We had a weird experience. Like this week was the first week that anything was back. And so we just started, we all were wrapping our hand. It was a kickboxing class. It was a small class. We were all spaced out. We weren't sparring or anything like that. I mean, the gym is following the rules, and we're able to at least get some training in. But when we started hitting combinations on the pads and stuff, you could see everybody's face just lighting up. Everybody was smiling, like that human connection that you have. To just have that, like when after the lockdown was over, we had some friends come over, and I was like, oh my, so much, you know. It's been a very weird time.
Yeah, I used to like to go running outside.
What's wrong with you, man? What is wrong with you? You're gonna tear an ACL. We're getting a reminder here, guys, to help us out. I don't want to interrupt the flow here, but to help us out, please make sure that you guys are sharing this and starting watch parties. Share this to groups. Help us get the viewership up and help us get the word out. For those of you that are tuning in and interacting with the show, we really appreciate it. But yeah, please share this up, start watch parties, share this in groups if you've got them. Any of that stuff really helps us out to kind of sustain this thing. It helps us do justice for our sponsors and stuff. So please get on that if you guys have a chance to. But yeah, sorry to interrupt you.
No, you bring up a good point. I mean, this is very interactive, so feel free to say what you guys want to say and have questions, comments about the show. You know, you guys are a part of this too, you know?
Yeah, we are seeing sorry to interrupt. Go ahead, dude. Sorry.
Oh, no. It's okay.
But no, we are seeing the comments, but if you're in our personal
beer anyway.
If you're in our personal watch group, or if you're in our on our personal pages and you're in our watch parties and you want to interact with the show directly for us to see the comments, please go to the Sprout and Dusty Show Facebook page and get in on that live stream. Then the comments will be shared with the show with everybody else. Just so you guys know how it works. Just have to get some business out of the way there.
For sure. Man, I forgot what the hell we were talking about.
Yeah, I know. I had to. I guess that's what you get when you have a producer. The producer reminds you of things, and you see a little notification up here saying, "Make sure we have watch parties going and encourage people to share the show in the groups." So I'm thankful to have somebody like Derek to keep us businesslike and professional, because sometimes we tend to stray from the path.
I'm trying to figure out how to start a damn watch party.
Do you feel like lately, especially like technology is just because everybody's home and there's just so much more stuff going on that you're having to learn a ton of new shit and like figure stuff out? Are you finding that?
Oh yeah, there's a learning curve to this.
Yeah.
All I really do on Facebook is just say stuff. You know, I don't really share too many memes, or I might go live every now and then, but I just really say stuff. That's all I do on Facebook. It's
yeah.
I'm like, wow. Okay.
I've been figuring.
I've seen watch parties before, but how do you start these things? You know,
check your private chat there.
Oh, my private
See
chat.
that? See that cool shit we got here, guys? This is a professional show.
Oh yeah,
This is
totally
very
professional.
professional. This is very serious professional. It was. I'm trying to learn all this stuff, and I'm trying to set up my studio, and then it's like I talk to a friend that knows stuff about studios, and they're like, balance cables. I'm like,
right,
and then
XLR, brother.
yeah,
XLR.
like just the little stuff that you don't even think of, like some little knob on this interface or whatever to try to get this stuff set up. Just learning that stuff, I felt like a complete barbarian trying to learn it. Just like it just was blowing my mind. But I think I've got it now. It seems to be working fine. I mean, we got your stuff's looking good over there, brother.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I mean, I know you guys at home really can't see what's in front of me, but it looks like the cockpit of a media spaceship. But I'll take a picture of it tomorrow and post it on the Sprout and Dusty Show Facebook page, and so you guys can see our setups, because people have been curious, about how we set up our for podcasts and home media and recording. So the more we learn, we're definitely bound to share with you guys. So I'll definitely take a picture of what is in front of me and post it on the Sprout and Dusty Show page tomorrow.
I see that Jake Fox wants to man wrestle me. Well, when these guidelines are lifted, come at me, bro.
Right.
Come at me. I'm nice and fat right now. My pressure is going to be good. I'll just lay on top of you. Try not to sweat too much. Come at me.
Right.
I'm never going to roll with him again. He's going to destroy me.
Oh man.
So we had some listeners send some questions. We post on our Facebook page quite a bit. So if you guys aren't following that, follow it and interact with the show, because there's going to be content that we do on the show directly related to what you guys want to do, because again, we want to keep this thing interactive. We had some really interesting questions sent to us. Some were serious, some were a little more just silly or whatever. But we wanted to get to some of those questions because we do want to show you guys appreciation for sticking with us at the beginning,
for sure,
and all that stuff. So we wanted to get to that. So Sprout, I have a question for you. What is your best, biggest, favorite gig as an artist, either solo or in a band? What is your favorite? If you had to pick one, what is your favorite gig of all time?
Man, I played a lot of them.
I know. I know.
I played a lot of them. So whoever sent in that question, it's a really good one and damn near impossible to answer. But I will give you guys 2 or 3 of my favorites. That's all right. We're all late in certain ways anyway.
yeah.
So one of my favorite shows is a show that you were on at the Cotillion Ballroom in Wichita, Kansas, and it was seasons after their first show back.
Yeah,
and that was a whole lot of fun for me, playing for the hometown crowd that supported us. And a lot of people, musicians and artists, don't understand when they're starting out how important it is to have the hometown crowd supporting you, no matter how far you leave from home. So it was really good to come back and do our best to perform for a hometown crowd. That was really, really cool.
That was a great, that was a great show. That was a really cool show for Wichita, because it was all Wichita-based bands at a bigger venue. You know what I mean? And
Continent of Ash.
Yeah.
And your old band.
Yeah, Empire Falling, and then Seasons After and King Shifter, right?
That's right, King Shifter.
Yeah. That was where we that was the show where we drank moonshine.
King Shifter, we always drink moonshine.
Yeah, like King that was Shifter, one of the shows where we drink moonshine.
That was not an amateur for a person who's trying to drink moonshine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So is that your favorite show of all time? What's the biggest crowd you've played in front of?
The biggest crowd I've ever played in front of, and it was also at that time the earliest show I've ever played. We played I was in King Shifter when we played at Rockfest in Cadott, Wisconsin. And this would have been in 2014. and holy cow, I had no idea thousands of people wanted to see rock and roll at noon. Now I've been to Rocklahoma in prior, which I know a lot of people are upset because Rocklahoma should be happening right now for a lot of them, and they're not able to get together for their favorite party of the year, and that sucks. But I've played in Rocklahoma in 2 different bands, and it was always the Axis stage until that last year, the Steve Murdoch stage, the Proving Grounds, and there were always packed tents for those shows. Always packed tents for those shows. I really couldn't give you a count. There was at least like 400 to 500 in this tents.
Yeah.
So it was just a crazy night. A lot of energy. It's always good to see a crowd raging to see their favorite bands and acts and stuff. So I got really hyped on it.
Yeah.
There's video on it on YouTube. I'm sure you can find it.
The one for me that sticks out was the Cotillion show with Seasons After. That's one of the ones that sticks out for me. And another one that sticks out for me is Empire Falling, when we played with Trivium. Mm-hmm. We were fortunate. I think the band that was supposedly opening on that tour, I believe they were in a bus accident. I think it was Silosis was the opening band, but I think they got in a bus accident. So the Cotillion put out this thing, and we started, trying to solicit votes and all that type of stuff, and we ended up winning. But I think it was Silosis, After the Burial, Devil Driver, and Trivium.
Wow.
And I remember when we went on stage, people were just kind of starting to show up. But by the time we were like 2 songs into our set and stuff, I noticed it was like I was looking out there and it was all people. Right. And I wasn't used to that, and I haven't played in front of a crowd that large since then. But I don't even remember the show. I had an experience where I was like, I felt like I just floated out there. We played our stuff, and I just floated back, and then it was over.
Time goes quick when you're on stage and you're doing your job. It's the unseen energy the crowd doesn't get to feel.
Yeah,
and experience. Being a performer. I've always been kind of an exhibitionist type any damn way. So
yeah. I think back to that, and it's like, man, that would definitely be a good goal of mine as a solo artist, would be, someday I want to get another show like that, or I want to get to open for someone big time, and see if I can test my mettle as a solo artist with a huge act like that, something like that. But
so, Dusty, what are some of the shows that you're supposed to hit during the summer that got canceled?
Oh man, I had a lot. I had a tour with Randy Ollinger. It was a 3-day in Colorado. I had Tulsa. I had a big show with Void Vader coming to Wichita, and that one was looking like it was going to be huge. I canceled some shows in Lawrence. I had shows canceled in Joplin with Take the Day. I think I looked before this episode. I think I was looking at my schedule today because another show actually got canceled yesterday. Mm-hmm. I think I've canceled 14 shows now.
Wow.
And it was basically what, you quit, you kind of quit gigging in December, when we wind down there. And I spent a lot of time and a lot of hard work booking and working on the promo for the single and all that stuff. And all those shows, as I was canceling them, I was just like, oh, it's just because it's,
oh, man.
you know how booking is.
I do. And I've seen a lot of cats out there, man, just not being able to make a living how they choose and want and love to make a living because of all this. And, when this first started happening to a lot of people who lost their jobs or lost the way they make their living, it was just like, man, who do you get angry at? It's like, who do you punch? But you relax after a while, and things become cool, and you become a little calmer. And I don't know. I just feel bad for all of my musician people that make their living that way, that just have not been able to. And I feel bad for the bars too, as well.
Oh man,
I know
terrible here.
I mean, I'm here in Colorado, and I'm seeing, people just starving for live music and artists waiting to get back to work, just like everybody else in their day job.
Yeah. Do you think that when it does come back and the live shows really pick up, I have a hunch that people are going to really be hungry for shows, so people will be apt to
Oh
go.
man,
I
absolutely.
think the venues are going to be packed, but do you think as artists we're going to have trouble booking because it's going to be so crowded? There's going to be everybody's going to be chomping at the bit to play,
Well, here,
and I've had a dialogue with myself where like I'm like, you know what? If it's that thing where I'm competing and I'm just going to have to break my back for peanuts, I don't
right.
know that I'm going to partake in that, because look at what we've learned here over this quarantine.
Yes.
The silver lining is I feel like I've learned a lot of shit and evolved. And it's
Hmm.
like it's even the having the different perspective during this time, it's actually giving me a way different perspective for after this is over. So
For sure.
do you think it's going to be sick, just like so crowded for booking?
Yes, and I'll tell you why. A lot of these bars and venues and businesses did not make it already.
Yeah.
That's going to be what's tough. And I guess the good thing at that is that I guess artists and musicians and whatever your craft is, you're just going to have to step your game up a little bit and find other ways to be seen and be heard, and still find other ways to make venues, because venues as it is, they do want quality in their establishments. They do want people at the bar buying drinks. It is a business. And so when businesses go down and they close, it leaves just a whole lot less space for bands to exist inside clubs. I mean, there just aren't very many around. But it also depends on the area you live in as well. But I've been reading lately, a lot of venues have not made it through this, and so that's one of the reasons I think booking is going to be a little bit tougher than usual.
And venues are probably going to be a little more selective for the people that don't have their stuff together. I think it's going to be harder for them to get a
Absolutely,
show.
as they should
Don't
already.
you think that's a good thing though? Don't you think that's a good thing
Oh
though?
man, yeah.
Not bashing on anybody, but there's a lot of people out there that do take it seriously. There's a lot of people out there that don't take it as much as seriously, and it's for the guys that are, especially the guys that are doing it full time. You need to, if you're getting on shows with those guys, you need to take that seriously.
Yeah, because they take it seriously every day.
Absolutely.
I've been touring for years. Dusty's been touring. It's not a picnic out there. It's not a life of comfort. And so every little bit that they make to send home to their families, that's what they do. And they also, some of these bands that tour, they have to pay their artists, they have to pay their musicians, their backing bands, and things like that. So it's going to be a little tougher for everybody once things get back. But once the need, once whatever threat and whatever people it is afraid of or don't know about as far as this, once that goes away, I'm pretty sure the venues will come back, and they'll probably come back in full force.
Yeah. Now, so from a strategy standpoint, do you get involved in the rat race, or do you do something else?
Well, it just depends on what you're into.
Yeah.
Me, King Shifter's back together, so that's going to be my focus right now. And I do my solo stuff. I have a couple of EPs. They're ready to go, but I'm also deciding what I'm going to do as far as that solo deal. But I figure I might as well keep my plate a little small. I'm working with one kid. I've been trying to make some beats for him. His name is Spades, and he's out of Tulsa. He does a delicious brand of trap metal that I happen to enjoy.
Trap metal.
Yes. A lot of people don't like it. Some of these kids, man, they do some excellent stuff and they treat it as art. Like some examples of trap metal would be, there's this guy I saw on YouTube. There's this little kid. His name is Jumex. I wasn't too fond of his content, though. It really wasn't about much, in my opinion. But I am a big Scarlord fan. That dude,
Scarlord.
oh man, Scarlord does not care about paparazzi. He does not care about fame. He just cares about his art. art.
So
That's what I
tell
love
me,
about that kid.
it's trap metal. It's metal instrumental, heavy guitars and drums and stuff, but it's trap rapping style over the guitars and drums.
Well, the primary identifying mark of trap metal, marks of trap metal would be the heavy 808 induced trap beat and screaming.
Okay.
If you listen to Scarlord, I mean, that kid screams his head off. And I've seen reaction videos of people watching him, metalheads in particular, which is what's crazy. Because if you listen to Scarlord, it's very heavy metal, hardcore oriented. You know, if you just listen to how he puts things together and the specific beats that he uses, he'll scream his head off at you and you'll understand every last word of it. I like music with screaming in it. I do it myself. I love decipherability, but there's also music that just kind of brings out the mood with however someone does it. I mean, would Cannibal Corpse be really fun for me if I understood everything Corpse Grinder Fisher was saying? Probably not, but I'm glad he does it anyway. Oh man. You know, it's about what you're feeling when you're hearing something.
Well, I find myself as I'm getting a little older and a little longer in the tooth that I am open to more stuff. And even the weirdest thing for me is I thought as I got older I would heavy music, my appetite for heavy music would change towards a little bit lighter.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually kind of gone the other way. You know, some of the I like a lot of metalcore stuff, but it's gone to where I'm starting to like some black metal and some different stuff. And like,
so what have you been listening to these days specifically? I mean, I know the both of us are getting older these days, and some of the things that we loved back then didn't hold up for us personally now. But what are you listening to these days?
The main band that I'm listening to right now is called Fit for an Autopsy.
Okay. Oh man,
do you listen to that shit?
Yes, sir.
I
my jams right there.
It just came up on a Spotify playlist, and I was a Spotify resistor. but my wife got got a family account, so we could all have an account. So where I got premium and I didn't have to listen to the ads anymore. Man, that shit is dope. I've learned. I mean, I know they don't pay artists shit, but
no,
boy, you can sure find out about some new artists on there. So it is getting your music out to a lot more people. And that's how Fit for an Autopsy came up on a playlist. And I heard I think the song I heard first was Hydra.
Oh, that's a good one.
I was just like, because when he's like, fucking do grow back. I was like, oh, heart,
man,
heart.
I'm a big After the Burial fan. Like,
oh yeah,
I love After the Burial.
I've been listening to them more. I've been listening to them more. Trench Bros podcast. What's up, guys? How's it going?
Hey, what's going on?
In the house.
The podcast community is chiming in.
Look at Brandon. He's saying Spotify has always been about exposure. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. I love listening to new stuff. I love listening to new bands that come out, new hip hop, new everything. You know, I just Spotify was essential for me to not be stuck in nostalgia. You know,
same. And do you get in a rut where you
being a listener?
Yeah. Do you get in a rut where you start listening to the same shit over and over and over? Like if I find something that I like, I get like Unearth, remember in the band where I was like, I can listen to this all day, and you guys are like, bro, we can take Unearth out now. I'm like, okay.
Right.
But you're 100% right with Spotify, dude. You are 100% right with Spotify about finding new acts and stuff.
Or any like streaming site. It's I look at those things as merely tools for an artist. You know, as a regular listener, I mean, as a regular fan of music, it's exciting to know you have that much access to music, and something that we didn't have growing up for sure. If we wanted to buy music, we'd have to get in our car and drive to a store. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, where those are, I don't know. I go to record stores now, vinyl stores. They still have like secondhand CDs and stuff like that, which I still, don't mind buying it all.
Did you see what Hugo said over in the comments, Sprout?
Hugo
had a comment talking about he talked to a venue owner, and I'm trying to. Oh yeah, so Hugo from Ether. The Ether's got a podcast too. That's a great
Okay, that's
podcast.
right.
Oh yeah, so there's the comment. Thanks, Derek. Yeah, just read that. And what are your thoughts on that? I mean, it's just like what we were talking about. It seems like it's going to be a war to try and get booked
Yeah,
on gigs and stuff.
yeah, because everybody got on it, and I was talking to somebody the other day. It's like, man, with this time, work on your booking and stuff, but work on your craft too.
Yeah,
Work on your craft.
yeah. It's been the drunker I get, the weirder it gets. Yeah, well,
Man,
and you live with Tommy, so you're you got that going on, Deborah.
right?
Adam says he saw after. Yeah, when we played with After the
Dude,
Barrel, I was blown away. They were amazing.
Iron Maiden, man. I listen to a lot of different music. I am a vinyl collector. Vinyl has always been a part of my life to some degree, with the exception of maybe about 10 years of it, because I was moving around so much, and I personally was unstable and probably wouldn't have the appreciation I have now to take care of such equipment. But I collect a lot of vinyl, and I've been listening to a lot of Stevie Wonder lately. I've been listening to the Vandals. When I get off of this thing, I'm gonna listen to some Primus. I like Soundgarden. I've become very appreciative of Nirvana in the last few years. And it's interesting because growing up in that era, when we started hearing Nirvana's music when we were younger, it was like I couldn't relate to it. And it wasn't bad music. It had that energy that anybody that would look for in a good rock record or a good rock band. But I had a good group of friends, and we were all different. And the alienation is what I didn't relate to in Nirvana. So now that I'm older and I've revisited it, it's a whole lot different for me because I've experienced some of these things.
Isn't that weird how music ages? Like I have stuff that I listen to that does not age well for me at all. And then there's some stuff I go back to. Dude, I am a sap when it comes to like Cats in the Cradle by Ugly Kid Joe. And like I heard that came on a playlist. The other day, and I was like, oh man, I'm gonna call my dad.
Dude,
I get emotional. About that shit.
I catch myself crying when I'm listening to Exit Music, Song for a Film by Radiohead from their OK Computer record. Every now and then, unbeknownst to me, there's a little bit of Niagara Falls coming out of my goddamn eyeballs.
That's great though? Isn't that great? I'm not. Yeah. I used to be ashamed of it, but as I get older and I'm driving, like, man, I'm feeling a certain kind of way about the way this guy's singing to me right now. I'm like, fuck, because it hits you at the right time. It hits you where like you're in a mood or something like that, and you're just like, damn, this dude knew exactly what I was going through when he sang that to me. So I think it's okay. I think it's okay to I think it's okay to cry about it or whatever it might be.
I've done all my macho shit years ago. I guess it's okay for me to cry while listening to some music sometime.
Yeah. I mean, I'm into lighter stuff. Definitely. I like heavy stuff. Adam's question there. I like heavy stuff. I like light stuff. Yeah. I like funk. I like hip hop. I like country. I like a little bit of everything for sure.
I learned as I got older. When I was a kid, the only two bands that mattered to me, it seemed like, were the Jesus Lizard and what is that other band? Season to Risk. Those were the two bands that actually mattered the most to me, like later on in my high school life. And there was nothing else outside of that. I was stuck. But you hear different things, and then you revert back to the things that kind of made you comfortable when you were listening to music as a youngster. So I have a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
Everything that I buy, all the CDs, the records, and even DVDs and movies and things like that, have influenced me in some type of way. That's the reason I buy them. So
is the vinyl experience all it's cracked up to be? I don't have a vinyl player. I love listening to music. Obviously, I'm a junkie, and I would probably be obsessed with collecting records. So in your opinion, is the vinyl experience worth it? Is it worth the expense, and is there that much of a difference between listening over a Bluetooth speaker or on vinyl? Is it as an audiophile, is it a noticeable difference? Because admittedly, it's been so long since I listened to something on a record player that I've been seeing a lot of people buying vinyl, and I'm finding myself getting a little jealous of it, and it looks
Well,
cool. So I'm like, maybe I should start
here's the
researching.
thing. I am not an audiophile. And the reason I'm not an audiophile is because I cannot afford to be an audiophile.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Straight up, bro.
You're only an audiophile according to your budget.
I mean, and that's what it is, man. You know, I'm not some guy that would tell you that you should buy some expensive record player so you can listen to records and buy these expensive speakers. I mean, just get what you need, and you don't have to break your bank. I mean, I think anybody smart enough that wants to shop for something they want knows that. Now, if there's something they really, really want that's expensive, they're going to save up for it. But you know, it doesn't really cost all that much just to get set up, because once you get a turntable and a decent pair of speakers that you like, all that expense is done. These days, record players, they come with power supplies. I mean, so you don't have to buy an amp, you don't have to buy a receiver or anything like that. You just plug it into your speakers, and they even have models where you can use Bluetooth with them as well. So there's just different options out there that make a buying experience as far as a turntable is concerned unique.
I see myself getting super like going down a wormhole, and then I'm getting into it, obsessed with it, and looking for records. And
my advice to you, if you're gonna go down the wormhole, go down the wormhole with records, okay? Don't spend like, I saw a $22,000 turntable online the other day, and
I can't do it. I can't go down that wormhole.
Nobody can. I mean, and so. I know I have an Audio Technica turntable. My turntable is $250, and it's a AT-LP120 X USB. I use my turntable to listen to records, and I also make samples for the records that I have.
Oh, sweet.
I mean, I make beats and produce music, so I've been really working on my sampling chops, and I've been using turntables and records and things like that. So I've been buying a lot of old classic stuff and classic rock and soul music and R&B and hip hop, and just having fun with samples. That's what I use my turntable for. I have a purpose for it. But if you're a music fan, there's plenty. I can suggest, check out Audio Technica. They have a really good line of good quality, affordable turntables. I won't tell you not to buy a Crosley Cruiser, but whatever you can buy to enjoy your listening of records, I say go ahead and do that. And if you want to just work up to all that stuff, if you're into that stuff enough, I say go for it. But as far as equipment, I'm done. I have a good, decent pair of speakers, which were studio monitors you probably got in your kit.
Yeah.
The same ones, the PreSonus Aris 4.5s.
Yep.
For this small room that I'm in, it's perfect.
Yeah. I don't have a huge room here either. So the vinyl thing intrigues me. And I actually, there's like this weird like jealousy or like envy. like when I see that you're like, man, I've just played this new record. Like when you post something on Instagram, when you're saying what you're listening to or whatever, I see that and I'm like, I want to be able to do that. like, come on.
Let me keep it real. I was like that with CDs. I collected CDs for
Same
years.
Here. I got a freaking tower of them. Yeah.
It's like, gee, I got a mountain of these bitches. It's like I've been here for over a year, and I still haven't busted out any of those CDs because they just be everywhere. I have plenty of space, but I don't want to take up my space with all these CDs.
Right.
Vinyl is a little bit easier to store. Now, what I will say about vinyl as far as the actual listening experience, this is interesting because not a lot of people really think about it in this manner. Since the 90s, everything that I've heard has been digital. Everything that I own on vinyl, not everything, but a lot of what I own on vinyl that was released during a certain point in time where in the 90s, vinyl was an afterthought. It
Right.
really was. So that's why 90s vinyl is really expensive and very collectible. But I was listening to Nevermind the other day by Nirvana, and there was just different little nuances I could hear in the record, in the songs, that I didn't hear before. And that record was recorded analog anyway. It was probably recorded on a 2-inch tape machine, what they had, those old school studios, analog. And that's where you get that nice big airy broad spacey sound from, really loud, boisterous, strong rock sound. And I was also listening the other day that I didn't hear that before in the digital version on CD, which
Right.
that's the only way I've ever heard it.
That's
digital,
cool. That's a cool experience. Those are the kind of experiences that make vinyl intrigue me.
Queens of the Stone Age. I was listening to Songs for the Deaf the other day on vinyl, and there's a song on there, and it just sounded like there was just some straightforward chords playing. But for the first time sitting there, I heard like there's 3 different riffs going on that really fit in the side of this. Like, holy cow, am I hearing this correctly? And I really analyzed it. I'm like, man, I just never heard this before. So there are those little nuances that
is cool,
heighten your listening experience. And being a deep listener helps. I mean, putting on a record and sitting down, like I'll put on a record and turn up my speakers a little bit and sit on this couch behind me and really deeply listen to something. And that's where your experience with vinyl for me, or the experience with vinyl for me, comes into play, really deeply listening to something.
Yeah, that's what that's what I'm after, a new experience. Even when I listen to old stuff, sometimes it hits me a certain way, or I may hear something new in there, or I hear something I didn't hear before. I experience a feel.
Sure.
Yeah, so if that's a possibility with vinyl, I'm probably going to end up looking into that. I got a question here that I would love to hear your opinion on, Sprout. My friend Frank Lee asks, which new release are you most interested in order? There's 3: Mushroom Head, Lamb of God, and Devil Driver. You have to rank them 1, 2, 3.
Lamb of God would be number 1. I'm a big Devil Driver fan, so I'm going to put that number 2, and you know where 3 goes.
Yep, that's.
In fact, I'm looking forward to all 3 of those releases. So, and I just on general interest, I've always been a Lamb of God fan. So
yeah, I think for me that would be the exact order. It'd be Lamb of God, Devil Driver, and then Mushroom Head. The new Mushroom Head single is cool. I heard the new Mushroom Head single on I think Liquid Metal on Sirius XM, and I liked it.
It wasn't bad at all.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. The new record that I've really been getting into is the newest Trivium record. Have you listened to that at all?
No, I haven't.
It's
I listened
really
to the
good.
one they made before that one.
Yeah, the Sin and the Sentence was the one before, I think. Yeah. But this one it's great, man. You'll really like it. That drummer they got in there now, I know they've had like the revolving drummer situation. Right. That drummer they got there now, I hope they can hold on to that guy, because he is a absolute monster. I mean, his playing on that record is insane. It's really good.
It's amazing how many of the bands that we started listening to are still around. I mean, I didn't know, you'd still be seeing Killswitch Engage today.
Yeah,
they've earned the right to be there. They deserve to be there for sure. They've always done good work over the years. When some people think that certain kind of music is just a fad, I've never been that guy that. When I was young, based on how I was treated respectfully by the old school, because they understood I'm more of a student instead of some loudmouth at that point. But when you get to a point to where it's like, okay, what can I do to learn something here? Looking at different parts of bands is kind of like that too.
Yeah, I see that Derek's. Sorry about that. Okay, so yeah, I'm not mad at bands for evolving anymore.
No, absolutely not.
I used to have this thing where I only like their old shit, and I was like a curmudgeon about it, and like super uptight about it. And I think like in the last maybe a couple years or so, it's been it hasn't been that way. I've enjoyed, like, a lot of people gave Trivium shit for the Silence in the Snow record, and stuff like that. And that's become like one of my favorite records of theirs. I don't resist when bands try to do something different or artists try to do something different now. I think a lot of people are like, I just want to hear you scream the whole time, the way you've done it for 20 years. I want another one of those. And it's like, man, do you know how boring that would be as an artist to just have to write the same record 50 times?
I
Come on
agree.
now.
I remember back in the day when Deftones came out with White Pony, and people, I
love that album.
And Sloan Moon and I had that conversation outside when we were playing in Topeka at the Booby Trap.
Yeah.
Wait, he was there. That's right. Yeah, we played in Topeka, I believe. No,
was I there? Was that the one we played with Rise Again?
It has to be in Salina. We were in Salina, Kansas. That's right.
Okay.
So we were in Salina, Kansas, talking about it, and we both agree that White Pony is pretty much their magnum opus.
Yeah.
And it was so different from their previous bodies of work, which I still enjoy listening to today. But a lot of people fell off with that because they just wanted to hear the same old heavy hip hop laden kind of new metal sound that was hitting the waves at that point. And so, man, I love those changes. I like it. It reminded me that I like different stuff.
Yeah.
Hearing bands switch up what they do is very encouraging. It's very encouraging. Like when I went to do my solo stuff, I didn't want to like come out with the same kind of music I was doing when I was in King Shifter or something else. I wanted to express something else.
Right.
And I'm glad when bands and solo artists can switch up what they're doing. I understand people have their favorites and they love it, but it keeps them on their toes as well as an actual fan of what they do.
Yeah. And like, as an artist, man, cut yourself some slack. You've already have some fun and go after something and make something for yourself. You know, a lot of the artists that are out there are fucking grinding their asses off, working hard. It's hard to make money. Everybody's fighting over the same breadcrumbs, it seems like a lot of the time. Cabo, wow.
You know it, brother.
You're celebrating today.
Man.
Cheers.
Dude, cheers, man. Because guys, we didn't know whether or not we were gonna, be able to pull all this off. The mail was being screwy. It took forever to get anything, and we used every possible resource we could to get this thing going. And so it's a celebration for me. No, I'm not wasted. I haven't even smoked no weed on the show yet. That's crazy. I'm going to do that here in a minute. But I'm drinking a little bit of Cabo Wabo tonight, man.
Yeah,
Mas tequila mofos. You know what I'm saying?
I've had my wife's brother has been in town. He came to visit, and he's a little younger than me, but he and I get along really well. So this whole week, it's been like I've been getting off work, and he and I have been tearing it up a little bit. I'm worn out. He's young. He's a young guy, and he can do it 5 days in a row. But I'm like, man, I'm pretty glad that when he leaves, I'll be able to get a good night's sleep. I got 3 days off, and I don't have to drink whiskey. I mean, it's not the fact that I got to drink whiskey till late. It's the fact that I've got to get up because I'm essential.
Oh, for sure.
I'm essential. I got to get. I get up at like 5:15 in the morning, and he can sleep in.
Right.
I mean, of course you want to take another shot, you asshole. You don't have to get up in the morning.
Hell no, I ain't got to get up in the morning, but I'm waiting for the day to when I do because I miss that shit.
I bet there's a lot of people out there that feel the same way. I would be. I would be. I think if I had been off work now, I haven't missed a day, but I think if I had been off work this long, even though I have learned a lot of new stuff as far as setting up gear, learning about live streaming, coming up with ways to be creative and
straight up
and spending more time with my kids, doing all that stuff. I truly believe that by now I would be so stir crazy if I wasn't going to work. I like it, like how your situation has been because you're in the food service industry. Like, oh man, like what are you supposed to do? Like, how do you not go fucking crazy?
It's been nuts. I've used being in my own head to my advantage by being creative.
Yeah.
I've always been that kind of person, and like I said, once I put my mind to something and get rolling, I'm not disturbed. I'm just
Right.
going, going, and going. And that kind of focus just really helps. I mean, I could sit around on Facebook and read conspiracy theories all day.
There's some
Hey,
people out there doing that shit for
I don't
sure.
mind. I don't mind that. Hell, sometimes every now and then the dude in the tinfoil hat don't look so weird. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Every now and then, for real. But I got things I think about and things I focus on, and I really do try and work on that PMA, and that stands for positive mental attitude. You know,
Yeah.
I do believe in making the most of your time in a way that is rewarding to you.
Yeah.
And in a way that you don't feel like you're wasting it, that you're making the most of your life, man. I'm 40 years old. I may not live another 40 years. So I'm getting that shit in now, bro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ride this Cadillac till the wheels fall off of it.
When people are posting, you see you see this social media sometimes it's obviously a microcosm of it is society right now.
Absolutely.
But you see all these people like just talking about how bored they are, and I haven't been bored at all. I've been like, I don't have to feel pressure to go train today. I don't have to feel pressure to rehearse for a show today. I can just get home and work on my art.
That's it.
Or today I can just get home and learn how to set that thing up and dial it in. Or today I can just get home and I've almost been like, I almost feel like I've been just as productive in different ways, obviously, because I'm not traveling and playing. We're not booking shows and doing all that stuff right now. But I haven't been bored, and there hasn't been any lack of anything to do. I mean, I take my kids for a walk every night. I spend time with my wife more. Like I'm not gone as much, and boy, do I appreciate that. So I'm trying to use that as I am getting sick of this shit. I'll be honest with you. I'm getting sick of it just overall. I'm getting sick of everybody's on their soapbox all the time about it. And it's just this hyper sensitized, oversensitized media fucking melee. I'm not saying I'm an expert on the disease or any of that stuff, but
I'm not an expert on shit. I don't really give a damn.
Me either.
Like every now and then somebody will send me a message about something political or something involving social awareness and consciousness. Well, I've always lived in my own world.
Yeah.
And my world has never really included that type of stuff. And it's actually served me well to have that type of attitude. And people don't understand that. Don't you care? I'm like, man, sometimes I wonder how much somebody running their mouth actually cares about what they're saying.
I do too.
That's why I don't get involved in that kind of shit, man. I know what works for me.
Yeah.
I know it works for me, and I know how I think and how I feel is who I am and how I feel. I mean, I'm secure in myself. I don't care what people say. I don't care what they do. I just got to keep that attitude right, and you just got to keep your mind on the prize, whatever that may be.
But they're making us wear masks here, and they're taking this.
Fuck it! I've always wanted to look like a damn ninja in public. I've always wanted to, man, and now I've got a chance to. Childhood dream achieved. Fuck
now would be a great time to be like a criminal, like a bank robber or something. It was the guy in the mask. Yeah, no shit.
Look, I'm telling y'all right now, if y'all listening to Dusty's advice about being a good criminal, y'all gonna need this bail bondsman. You can read that right down there. If y'all decide y'all want to take Dusty's advice and be a criminal, you
don't forget that the Sprout and Dusty Show is proudly sponsored by Wichita's #1 bail bondsman, Big Fish Bail Bonds. Serving Wichita and Sedgwick County, call 316-262-4100, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and have your loved ones wake up at home, because some of us unfortunately know jail sucks.
It sucks. Sucks, man.
Seriously, thank you to those guys for sponsoring the show. The great looking setup that we have here.
Biscuits and gravy in jail. Here's what's going on, man. The biscuits are hard, and like the gravy looks like cat food swimming around in some kind of nasty cream. I don't even call it gravy. I don't know what the hell that shit is. Jail sucks. All right.
Yeah, I don't think I'd
Jail
like. I mean,
sucks.
I think the only thing I would maybe like about it would be the dominoes. Just playing a lot of dominoes. I love. I
Don't let him take your crunch.
Yeah, like, you're not getting my honey bun today, motherfucker. I'm playing dominoes.
Honestly, like I've never had fun being locked away, but I definitely got better at playing spades.
Yeah, you're like, no table talk. You're like,
right? There ain't no table talk.
Play the king.
The last thing I want to die from is from a toothbrush puncture wound. That's the last thing I want to die from.
Well, do you see
no table talking?
Like,
no table talking.
Have you ever? I don't know. Maybe have you ever seen it? But when I'm watching these documentaries like Locked Up or whatever, because for some reason those shows fascinate me to no end.
They scare the shit out of me. Honestly,
can watch them all day. I can watch them all day long. But when
I could watch them too. Like, okay, so remember the Lockup Raw when they were revisiting things that they didn't show, and they talked about Fleece Johnson, the booty warrior, and he talked about the importance booty has in prison society. And he was very candid and open and honest about it. And I think everybody's children needs to watch that shit, because if you fuck up out here on these streets and you go to prison and jail, you might run into a man much like Fleece Johnson, the booty warrior. And we don't want our children in prison, all right? So I think that video, you go on YouTube and look up Fleece Johnson, booty warrior, you'll definitely find video of him on like Lockup Raw. Show that to your children. They don't want to get in trouble after that.
Well, the thing that always the thing that fascinated me about it is they would have those surveillance footage of a dude rolling up on him to stab him. You know what I mean? So you'd see the video and he'd just be walking normal, and in like a 2-second burst, that dude stabbed that guy in the neck like 48 times. I mean, just. And that dude just goes down, there's blood, and he just throws the thing on the ground and keeps walking. It's fucking savage.
Being behind bars before, that's pretty standard. I mean, you ain't got nothing else to do but practice stabbing a motherfucker. I mean, shit. I mean, the library might not be open that day. I mean, hell, it's just fuck. Let me find out how to shank this nigga right here. It's some weird, crazy shit, man. Like, I don't know. I like I said, prison, jail, that shit ain't fun. It's just not fun.
I can't imagine, especially if I had to go like now. When I was younger and I was, a little more full of piss. I mean, I'm still full of piss and vinegar, but when I was younger, I'd probably been like, whatever. But now I'd be like, oh my God, you are such a dumbass. Like, look at you dumbass.
My favorite guys to see in prison that made me laugh the most were the rich guys that were in there for DUIs.
Oh yeah,
because they'd make the stupidest complaint. This pillow's not fluffy. I actually heard a rich dude like, look, man, you ain't here for 30 days. You're gonna get a crick in your neck by the time you get out, man. I swear. It's so cold in here. Well, it's jail. It's not supposed to be warm and fuzzy. I mean, I love watching people who are used to being comfortable being uncomfortable, because I've been uncomfortable all my life, even in freedom. So it just doesn't bother me,
I get so spoiled, Sometimes sometimes when I'm on the road or whatever, and I get a chance to stay in a hotel, I'm like, oh. Like this coddled thing, but I don't know how.
But being spoiled is a reward for making good decisions. Honestly, I mean, if you go to work every day and you pay your bills and you got a nice couch to sit on, and you might have a record player in your house, Dusty, I mean, you've earned that shit. Enjoy that shit. That's what you do. I mean, a lot of people don't understand that.
What does audio is double dosed mean? Does anyone know what that means? Derek, we good, buddy?
Double dosed.
I don't know what that means.
Oh,
do you radio
reverb?
Okay, I don't have any processing on my end, so
I don't have any processing as well.
Sprout is echoing. I'm not hearing you echoing. I'm hearing me now.
Huh.
All of a sudden.
I haven't even touched anything.
Yeah. I mean, what the fuck happened?
Oh man.
Yeah, there's people out there that say they're hearing it fine. So
Oh, okay. Well, I don't hear an echo now.
no, I
It's
don't.
gone.
I don't hear anything. I think we're good. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I would do very well in there. I mean, I'd probably be fine, but I would just keep away from everybody. I would keep to myself and just try to find a couple dudes to play dominoes with and just
Mhm.
do a bunch of push-ups and fucking mind my business. I imagine there's a lot of that in there, right? Like guys just keep to them fucking selves, stay out of everybody's way. Do those guys get fucked with at all?
No.
That's good.
Now, I mean, jail is kind of an environment where like there are a bunch of tigers in a cage.
Yeah.
Like if you don't bother anybody, then nobody will bother you, but they will see your weaknesses. Like you see, I saw more dope in fucking prison than I did in the streets. I'm like, holy shit, I'm like, this is
Yeah.
ridiculous. And they'll test your weaknesses. They'll see what you ask for. If you ask for coffee, if you ask for cigarettes, if you ask for stamps, if you ask for anything, that's your weakness. Most people's weakness in behind bars and jail and shit like that is coffee.
That would be
You get
I would
tweakers
need
out
coffee
there. They
for
drink
sure.
they drink that keefy, man. That freeze dried Colombian. Like, let me get a shot, Sprout. Let me get a shot, Sprout. And a shot is basically a shampoo cap full, and the shampoo bottle's like this, and the cap's like this.
I'm spoiled. I love my coffee the way I have it.
Hey, I ain't been in trouble in a very, 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 very long time now. I plan on keeping it that way. Why? Because jail sucks.
Yes. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't. I'm fortunate because when I was younger, I did some really dumb shit that if I would have got caught, I probably would have ended up in jail. Probably not for a long time, but for stints or whatever. And I feel fortunate that I surpassed that time in my life without having to go. But I
Man,
hope
brother, I look at it
not.
this way, man. People make mistakes, man. It's how you bounce back from them, man.
Absolutely.
From my experience, I had things to look forward to, man. Once I have King Shifter to look forward to. I had a life on the road to look forward to, drinking down at booze, raising hell, making friends, making fans. I had a life ahead of me. And some of these cats that are in prison that are going to get out are going to go back in because that's the first thing they tell you when you go there.
Yeah.
And I was just determined that was not going to be me because I'm not a real criminal.
Yeah, what kind of fucking? Well, yeah. What kind of what kind of life is that? I know there's guys there and people do make mistakes, but and there are obviously people that should be punished for certain reasons or whatever it is for consequences for all that type of stuff. But man, what a life!
I broke the law. I deserved my punishment.
Right.
And I took it like a man and did whatever I had to do.
Do most people in there feel like they got screwed? Or a lot of people like, I did that shit, I'm fine. Probably 50-50.
Honestly, I never had a conversation about that with anybody.
Oh, so you just don't ask.
Yeah, man, that could be a tender subject as it is. You know? So I just didn't, you'll hear, I mean, if you're around population, you will hear about certain things people did.
Yeah.
Per se. But nothing that you would qualify as solid information to speak on, and that's pretty dangerous in there.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I would just sit there and shut the fuck up and try to follow the bro code. And that would be all I would do. So yeah, I feel like now is probably a good time to tell everybody about our guest next week, Sprout. I know you know Adam and you're close with him. I've never met Adam personally, but why don't you tell our guests a little bit about why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about our guest next week?
Well, our guest next week, our first guest ever, is Adam Joe, the front man and leader of Scattered Hamlet.
Yes.
It'd be an honor to have him on the show. I've known him for many years now, since 2013. We met in Kansas City at the Aftershock. And I'll find a picture and post it on the Sprout and Dusty page tomorrow, along with my workspace. And he's got a lot of cool things, insight. He's got things going on in his life. He loves to fish. He loves mixed martial arts.
Sweet.
You know, he's versed in the fight world a little bit, so it's cool to hear his intake.
That'll be good.
Get his input on things. And he's just a really cool dude, very talented. I'm always entertained when I watch Scattered Hamlet, period. So I know y'all can't see it, but I have a Scattered Hamlet flag hanging on my wall. It's the yellow "Don't fuck with me" with the rattlesnake curled up in my studio. I have that.
Well, I'm looking forward to talking to him. When I found out he was coming on, I did a little bit of recon and I started listening to their music a little more. There's Adam right there.
Yep, there's my boy.
I will
look at them arms. I want them guns for Christmas, man. Hey, Adam, if you're listening, I want them guns for Christmas, man. Look at them arms.
I've been listening. Their music is awesome, and I'm excited to meet him. You know, we've got some other guests that we'll get into, and next week we'll tell you who the following week's guests will be. But yeah, definitely tune in. It'll be at the same time, and Adam will come on and shoot the breeze with us, and we'll talk like we've been kind of talking tonight. We'll ask him some questions about what they're up to, and we got some dope guests coming up. We'll be sharing the flyer for the next guest tomorrow, and then you'll be able to connect with Adam and follow up with his band and see what he's all about. But I've been really digging the music, and I'm excited to talk to a fellow jiu-jitsu guy and a musician. And if he's a friend of yours, obviously he's a friend of mine. So
that's my brother, man. That's my brother, man.
It's gonna be awesome. Another little business thing is you guys will be able to find this everywhere you can find podcasts. Should have that stuff up tomorrow, and we'll share links on our Facebook page. If you guys haven't followed the Facebook page, please go to the Sprout and Dusty Show Facebook page and follow and like this page so you can get notifications and interact with the show. We'll be sharing all the links there. I will get this up on our YouTube channel tomorrow. So if you have not subscribed to the Sprout and Dusty Show YouTube channel, please go over there and do that. And there will be an archive of all the episodes, all the guests, everything. So yes, I'm trying to stay on the business, Sprout. And trying to let people know how to find it.
Gotcha. Don't forget to share the page. If you like what you saw tonight, like what you heard, you giggled a little bit. Share the page, spread the word. We're on all social media sites, so and we're always down to communicate with you guys. In fact, we're going to probably end this show with another viewer question.
Oh, what do we have here?
Okay.
I am actually pulling up the menu on my
computer. I don't even have to pull it up. So much. I don't even have to pull up the menu.
I know you love it.
I know the secret. Okay, so before I go into what to order at Waffle House, which for me is two supreme things, meals in particular, but certain restaurants have secret menus, and you can always find the secret menu if you go on their webpage or whatever.
I'm not aware of this.
Yes, McDonald's has a secret menu. I believe Wendy's has a secret menu if you want to look up, but you got to find it on the page. It's almost like how some of these weird people find these obscure black market websites to buy tigers and alligators.
Yeah, the dark web. Oh, there it is. So what are you getting?
There. Now, on the secret menu, there's a 3 pork chop breakfast. So I get 3 pork chops, 2 eggs over hard. That's how I like them. And then I get my hash browns smothered, covered, capped, and country.
Capped and country.
That's right.
That's probably what you ordered when we were there.
That's exactly what I ordered when we were there. I'm excited thinking about it, man. Yeah. My Waffle House Waffle House has been closed for a couple of months. So, and I'm like less than 45-second drive away from it. It's just been sad. That's why I went to do my best thinking, my best imagining. I'd sit at the Waffle House window and daydream, how can I make this riff a little bit tastier? Man, just as
Well,
tasty as these chocolate chip waffles.
I'm
I
so
thought about
like
that,
I'm
man.
just
Like,
dude, I'm so vanilla. Like I'm just lame when I go out to eat with my wife. She's like, "You order the same thing every time we come here." I'm like, because
well,
I love that shit, and I'm getting, and I
for sure.
the reason I came here is because I love to eat that shit. For me,
So,
Waffle House,
for real, man.
bacon, sausage, smothered potatoes, and 2 eggs over hard with coffee. That's it. It's
For
simple.
sure, brother. Like, there's nothing wrong with going into a place and finding something you like there and eating it all the time. Because I do it at a few places.
Yeah.
Like, me and Kink, we used to go to this place sometimes. It was a Cajun restaurant called the Cajun Shack in Wichita on 21st and Woodlawn, I believe. And every time we would go there, he would get the same Cajun meatloaf. And hey, I've had it before. I had everything on that menu. It was pretty decent meatloaf. He ate the same thing all the time. I never questioned him about it, but every time he went there, he had that same meatloaf.
Yeah, I do the same
Yeah.
thing. I like most time if I'm going to Mexican restaurants, most of the time it's chili verde. I like to try
I had a chili verde
everybody's.
burrito last night for
I
dinner,
love
bro.
that shit
Last
so
night.
much. I love that
Last
shit
night.
so much. But yeah, so we should probably try to wrap it up here. Wait. Go ahead. Sorry.
The second meal you should have at Waffle House. Get you a double chocolate chip waffle, 8 slices or strips of bacon. Get you a big glass of milk, a big glass of orange juice, and make sure you bring some brandy in a flask so you can pour it in your coffee. That's it. That's the 2 main meals you should have at Waffle House.
I'm simple.
Oh, and don't forget to close it out with a piece of their pecan pie, right? So what they do is they take a slice of their pecan pie and they put it on the flat top with butter, and they melted the butter on top of it.
Look how excited! Look how excited you are! Look how excited you are!
Oh, I miss Waffle House so much.
I'm excited. Episode 1, baby, in the books. Woo!
Oh man, thank you guys for tuning in, man. Much love and respect to you. And don't forget, our sponsor is Big Fish Bail Bonds, working Sedgwick County in Wichita, Kansas. We appreciate that, man. We really love you guys for this. We hope you guys enjoyed the show tonight.
Thank you guys very much for tuning in. I don't have much else to say. I had a blast, Sprout, and I'm excited that we are going to kick this off next week with we're going to do it again next week with Adam Joe, hearing his thoughts on stuff.
Oh man, I'm really excited about Adam Joe.
It's going to be badass.
I haven't really seen or talked to him too much in the last couple of years. You know, we've all been busy doing whatever we do. I relocated to Colorado, which I'm casting from tonight. But
yeah, well, good. Good luck to you guys this week. I hope you all have an awesome week. If you have a chance, please share the show, share it in groups, do watch parties. If you find us on Spotify or any of the services, please, throw us follows and stuff like that. All those metrics help the show.
And to our first show, Dusty, cheers, brother.
Cheers, man. Good job. I'll see you soon.
Clank, clank.
Good night, guys.
Drinking it, chug. Drinking it, drink.
Well, I don't think I thought it, that's different. I said what I said and I meant it, or lamented. Words given weight without thought in a person, the way that I talk and the way that I ought to be able to pause and to say that the fault can be placed on my arms. To this playful assault, to disgrace in this arm. Pray for the day they could wait for the calm. You can't control the storm, only weather it. Whether it's 5 weeks and 5 days of rain sideways, or scorched earth, search for death or water left